Now, our very first meeting called by leadership of the National Democratic Congress in the Lower Manya-Krobo constituency of the Eastern region to resolve an issue of campaign funds and the poor showing of the party in the 2016 election degenerated into a free-for-all fight. This was after the Member of Parliament for the area, Oklete Telabi, allegedly got into a confrontation with former Municipal Chief Executive Isaac Agbo Tete over money meant for the party's polling agents, which was allegedly creamed off by the MP. Correspondent Maxwell Kudoko reports a number of participants were injured in the brawl that ensued, forcing an abrupt end to the meeting.
While few of the party members claimed they were given 200 cedis after the elections, majority of them claimed they received only 100 cedis, while others say they received 50 cedis for transportation and food, respectively. The discrepancies in the allocation of the funds generated a heated exchange at the meeting, and one John Chawe was allegedly brutalized on the orders of the MP Oklete Telabi. John Chawe narrates what transpired to join us.
Yesterday, I was here in the meeting. I was in the meeting. We are in the meeting. Some of the guys they went to took my bike. I said, "Oh, who are those? Some thief are taking my bike." I rushed there. Before of there, they said MP and chairman said you have to take my motorbike to put in the pickup. I said no. MP have to tell me something before you take my motorbike. Then immediately I'm talking. Then they started beating me, started hitting me. Then I'm shouting that people thief they are coming there to come and steal my bike, my motorbike. Before people come there, the time I will last. Then I will realize that no. It's today's morning. I appear in Agumona hospital. I was collapsed. I don't know. Now I'm talking to you. I don't know where the bike is. The motorbike.
So who sent the guys to attack you?
MP and Chama. The people said MP and Chama. I know them. One of the guy called MP brother. MP is a younger brother. Tevia. And Stephen.
What's the name of your MP?
The name of Telabi, Honorable Telabi.
Meanwhile, the constituency organizer, Sam Colette, accused the Member of Parliament, Oklete Telabi, and the NDC constituency chairman, David Walter Homenu, for the mess. He claims the two went for the money and have squandered it. According to him, each polling agent was allocated 200 cedis, but the two collected the money from the regional office and kept it to themselves. He spoke with Maxwell Kudoko.
The money is with the chairman, the constituency chairman, David Walter, and the MP. It was the polling agents' money. After the election, there were so many. The polling agents were not paid. Those who were paid were given half of the money. Some were paid full payment, but most of the agents were paid half of the money. Some were paid 50 cedis, 100 cedis, and the money that was supposed to be paid to each of the agents is 200 cedis. So there were so many agitations about the money, and the MP called a meeting yesterday to come and address those polling agents issues. We thought he was coming to pay the money to them. He just came and then talked about the money he received for elections, that he was not meant to share the money for people, but was to organize things for the campaign. In fact, when he finished speaking, then he doesn't allow anybody to talk again. And that was what brought the quarrel among the polling agents and then the branch executives. Some of the polling agents wanted to ask questions. He said no question.
I hear he MC.
Yes, we don't know what happened. What we see is all of a sudden, then the MP raised his hand on the former MC, and then we are all there. So all of us came around. Some of the guys around came around, and then they helped in separating them.
Meanwhile, when the MP Oklete Telabi and the chairman David Walter were contacted, they both denied the allegations.
Elsewhere, forceful takeover of a toll booth on an important road in the central region is affecting business and the government in more ways than one. The Sin Praso toll booth was taken over more than 2 weeks ago by persons believed to be supporters of the New Patriotic Party. The incident is one of several by over-enthusiastic NPP supporters seeking to avenge similar takeovers by supporters of the National Democratic Congress when they won power in the 2008 general elections. Correspondent Richard Kojunyako has been observing the development and has filed the following report.
The Cape Coast Asimfo-Kumasi Highway is one of the busiest roads in the country. Tens of thousands of motorists use this road on a daily basis. On this road, the toll booth that collects tolls has ceased functioning. A group of persons perceived to be NPP supporters about a fortnight ago forcefully took over the management of the toll booth. A day after the forceful seizure, the group ran out of tickets and has not collected tolls from motorists thereafter. The supervisor that is expected to get them more tickets to use is refusing to do so because he is angered by how the takeover of the management of the toll booth was done. The motorists have a field day now. They have been spared the payment of tolls. Traders that sell around the toll booth are incensed. The motorists that hitherto stopped to pay their tolls and patronize the foodwares or food items of these traders no longer stop because there is toll free. They are accusing the NDC operators of the toll booth of hiding the tickets and allowing the current situation to happen, and wants government to do something about the situation so the toll booth can function again.
Kennedy, and as a bedra, Mona one person from Nancy from Namfadi Pamela. Now I said, Cabia Choma free, Cabia Choma free. Abra, Dakukras, Kao Munyan, yet Takotwa. One by and take it, Yamadima, Martin, Yanko Dama, Yanko Dama, Yanko Dambobia, what does sound no man yadico? Baby Obia, Gana Hanoa, and performer Mran, Kofadamra, no my Yanko Jaffa Mana, Fagana by, one Yan found with the Yan found with you.
Meanwhile, dozens of persons mass up in front of the offices of the Ghana Highway Authority to be recruited to take over the management of the toll booths in the central region. Richard Kwejonya, Joy News, Cape Coast.
Well, the police have arrested 6 more persons for their involvement in various forms of post-election disturbances across the country. The 6, namely Alex Asari, 43 years, Justice Apia, 45 years, Ya Echiam, Emmanuel Asari, Joshua Wusu, and Eric Amuyisi were all arrested in Braveful region for various offences. Alex Asare, said to be the first vice chairman of the governing New Patriotic Party at Bechem, is alleged to have let Justice appear to forcibly take over 3 toilet facilities at Dema near Bechem. Later, Ya Echian, the wife of the vice chairman, is also said to have attacked one Veronica Wusu, who was manning one of the toilet facilities, leaving her without 2 of her teeth and some braids of her Rasta hairstyle. In another development, Emmanuel Asare, Joshua Owusu, and Eric Amuyisi were also arrested by the Braveful Region Police for attacking and inflicting cutlass wounds on one Eric Kwame on January 14, 2017. In the case of Alex Asare, Justice Appiah and Ya Echian, they have been charged and granted bail pending the appearance in court on Thursday, whilst the case of Emmanuel Asare, Joshua Owusu, and Eric Amuyisi is still under investigation. It comes just a week after the police have notice will bring perpetrators of the post-election violence and forceful takeovers of public assets to book. In all, some 16 persons have been put before court for their involvement in one post-election offence or the other. Meanwhile, the police say they're looking for other suspects presently at large. You're watching Joy News Prime. We're taking a break, but still to come in the bulletin, one person is being treated for gunshot wounds after he was hit by a stray bullet fired as musketry at the funeral of the late Queen Mother of Ashanti underway in Kumasi. We have that story and some more coming up after the break. Stay tuned. Former President Jerry John Rawlings has been allocated 4 acres of land. The unnumbered plots of land were allocated by former President Mahama's administration to the former president on a 99 years lease arrangement. The lands along the Sekou Toure Street Ridge in Accra were leased to the founder of the National Democratic Congress in 2016 at a yearly irrevocable rent of 10 Ghana cedis for 99 years, renewable for 50 years after expiration, for purposes of establishing the Rawlings Foundation. Elton Brombe joins me in the studio with details of this transaction. Good evening to you.
Good evening,
Elton. What is the big issue about this?
Well, I think the concern for many is about the amount of money involved. 10 Ghana cedis as rent for 99 years. It cannot be reviewed within the period. It can only be reviewed after 99 years, and then another lease period for the next 50 years. And that has been the issue. But we have correspondence between the former president's office, the outgone NDC administration, and the Lands Commission regarding this particular issue. And then the latest one being a direct response from the office of the former president after this issue was made public and what they have been explaining to these letters.
Do we understand the arrangements in which this land is being given to him?
Well, if we read the letter from the Lands Commission dated 3rd May 2016, it is a directive they were only acting on from the office of the John Mahama presidency. Now, former President Rawlings wrote to the Mahama government that he wanted a piece of land to construct a foundation that will be dedicated to humanitarian services. So that letter was referred to the Lands Commission to make land available for this particular purpose. Now, if you read the letter from the Lands Commission, it quotes a directive that they are acting on from the office of the John Mahama's government. And this is the 3rd
so
May.
From the office of the president?
Yeah, from the office of 3rd May 2016. And in the letter, they wrote to Mr. Rawlings. They made mention of the fact that they've allocated for him 4 acres of land around Ridge for him to undertake that particular exercise. Now, there's a response from the office of the former president after the Lands Commission wrote to them. And this is dated May 9, 2016. He only acknowledged the receipt of that particular letter, but went on to say that because of the volume of work they want to do, the 4-acre land will not be enough. So they requested for more. And that correspondence or that particular letter, one went to the presidency and the other one went to the Lands Commission. Unfortunately, it appears, according to the letter from the office of the former president, the presidency could not locate that particular letter. So if you check, the response to the additional request for another land was only sent to the Lands Commission on the 12th of December 2016. And there's a letter signed by the secretary to the president, Mr. Kwote. who acknowledged the fact that the letters were among some misplaced letters that he could not account for, but later got to know of it. So he directed the Lands Commission to consider the additional request for more land. And then the Land Commission wrote back to the president. Now, what became news today relates to the amount of money involved and the long lease and the fact that these lands are located in prime areas, and it appears that they've been given out for free. So I inquired from the office of the former president as to if they have any response, because the criticism is that they've taken advantage of his role as former president and they are taking prime lands for some other activity. And this is a response I got from Kwabena Ando Amwakwa, who is the communication director of the ex-president. In summary, they are saying that the response dated May 9, 2016 received no reply. That is the one they asked for additional lands. Till 12 December 2016, when the Secretary to the President, Ambassador Kwesi Kote, discovered the letter misplaced among his papers and wrote to the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources to act upon. And the letter says that no lease agreement was therefore reached with government. And if you check the first letter, it directed the two parties to come together and sign the lease agreement for some kind of ownership to be established. But per this particular communication from the office of the former president, that has yet to be done.
So essentially, as we have it now, probably that property or that lands, those lands they're looking for hasn't been transferred. Title to those lands haven't been transferred.
Because the lease agreement has not been, acted upon between the two parties, the state and the office of the former president. So that foundation they want to undertake, perhaps they may have to rectify this particular, get the lease agreement signed before work can done. But as far as the monies and other issues are concerned, the explanation from the former lands Minister Neo Samuels is that they acted within the law.
All right. Thank you very much, Elton Brobe, bringing us details of that story. A group calling itself Dangbe Concerned Youth has vowed to resist any attempt by President Akufo-Addo to appoint non-indigents as metropolitan and municipal chief executives in the Greater Accra region. The president has yet to name anyone to the positions, but the group believes the appointment of non-indigents will be an affront to the dignity of the Ga people in threatening to hit the streets to protest any such move. Ni Ayafiu Tete, the first, is president of the group.
That's what I said. We said there's a rumors going around that non-Gadangbes, we are the mouthpiece of Gadangbe youth. We represent the entire Gadangbe Concerned Youth Group. And what we are saying is there's a rumors going around that non-Gadangbes are lobbying to become MCs and DCs. And that is what we are pleading with another Dankwa Akufo-Addo, that we are not going to agree to it. It's very simple.
So why don't we wait until this official communication before you start raising this?
Wait. The pressure is too much on us. I think it's high time we have to voice out.
Pressure coming from where?
Everywhere. Because we have the mouthpiece of Gadangbe youth, you have to know that any issue concerning the Gadangbe youth, the pressure is on our decks. So we will not wait. Let me think about your TV station. It goes very far. So Nanano is going to hear this as well.
You raised a lot of issues with regards to things affecting those of you within the Gadangbe land. Can you reiterate some of these issues, and what makes you think that someone who is non-Ga cannot best address these concerns?
It can never be possible. No non-Gadangbe can fight for the interests of Gadangbes.
Why do you say that?
It can't be possible. Do you know Gadangbe problems? What tribe are you? I'm asking you a question. You are an Ewe. It's fine. When I've been transferred to Volta region as a DC, I cannot work. They are now going to teach me some of the problems over there. But the Gadangbe people over here, they know the problems we are facing. Have you seen where I'm coming from? So they are going to fight our interests for us. It's very, very simple. We have a lot of problems on Gadangbe land. We have our chieftaincy problems, about this registrar and Riatipo's problem. We have a lot of problems. It's uncountable if you started now.
Okay. Knowing the problems of Gadangbe and addressing the problems of Gadangbe, you agree with me that these are two different issues. So do you agree?
Gadangbe, we have strong people to fix to that positions. We have a lot of people who can fix to that position, Gadangbes.
And do you have any names that you're suggesting?
But I'm not going to mention even one. It's up to Nanado to choose Gadangbes to be in as the MCs and DC, that's all. But to me, I will not mention any name because we are not in support of any candidate to become the mayor or the DC.
If the president should go ahead to appoint non-Gadangbes for this position, you are going to demonstrate. What will make you change this decision?
That is only, he should abide by what we are saying. The President Mahama and the President Mercer administration, that is what he did. They made sure that all their DC, the MCs are Gadangbes. So he should follow the trend. It's very simple.
Are you not being tribalistic with this comment?
If we are being tribalistic, we will not allow non-Gadangbes to become parliamentarians on our land. because our land is cosmopolitan land. But now, when I talk about DCs and MCs, it have nothing to do with cosmopolitan. We want people who should fight our agenda for us. There's no non-Gadangbe who will choose to become a DC or MC in Volta region, where you say you are coming from.
What makes you so sure that only a Gadangbe person will be able to address all these issues?
It's
because
only a Gadangbe who knows our problem. That's where I'm coming from. When they choose Kofi Jamesi, to become the Chief Science Minister, did we complain? I'm asking a question. We never complain. We are talking about DCs and MCs. The DCs and MCs, they are working on our chieftaincy issues, so they know our problems. So it's very simple. This is very, very simple. Nobody is changing my mind. That is where we are standing. We say we don't want any non-Gadangbe to become a DC and MC. They can't fight our agenda for us. That is my problem, that's all.
And you think there's no other person competent who is not Gada to do this?
Person who is competent to go to his region, to go and work as a DC or an MC. On our land, we want Gadangbes. We don't want any non-Gadangbes. That's what I'm saying. It's very simple.
So whether the person is competent or not competent?
It's up to the person. We want people who knows our problems.
But the president has already said he's going to choose competent people to drive his agenda. What if he comes up with names of people who are not Gadangbe?
We will not agree to that. For another to choose non-Gadangbe to become a DC or MC. We will never agree to that.
The Braveful Youth Association of Ghana also wants President Akufo-Addo to include people of Braveful extraction in his government. The association also wants him to consider the areas of settlement for the construction of factories and dams to improve the livelihoods of people. They cited the construction of a share nut factory, which they believe will help improve the well-being of women in their communities. They made the call at a news conference in Wa.
We will call on him to consider our people in terms of appointment to offices, and then also our area, for example, if you look at Wa West and then that of Sola Tona Calva, Bole districts, where our people are, there are a lot of bad roads, lack of schools, lack of health facilities, etc., etc. So we like, or we hope that he comes to our aid to alleviate our people from those hazards. In the area of Agri, we would like, or we call on the government to come and then support us with these irrigation facilities, and also extend some loans to the women. They are very productive, especially when it comes to the shea butter, for instance. You see, they adopt the local method in processing the shea nuts. So if the one factory that is being promised, we will be happy if a shea butter processing factory is established in the area to enable our women have our shea nuts processed in that factory.
In other news, the Indian High Commission will be organizing a festival this year to commemorate 60 years of diplomatic relations between India and Ghana. The Festival of India, according to the Commission, aims to connect and enhance the perception of the Indian in the minds of Ghanaians.
The Festival of India showcases multifaceted aspects of Indian culture in various colorful forms and has been held in several countries, recent ones being Australia, Canada, France, Indonesia, and Italy. The festival will be held from the 25th of January to 15th of March 2017. Speaking to newsmen, Indian High Commissioner to Ghana, Birender Singh, says India appreciates the successful conduct of peaceful and transparent elections in Ghana and therefore would not want anything to mar the beautiful relationship the two countries share.
The year 2070 is special for India and Ghana as we celebrate 60 years of robust and strong friendship between India and Ghana. India and Ghana had very strong relations since the early days. Our then leadership and the first president of Ghana, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, had a very special relationship. The relationship was enriched by the exchange of visits at the highest levels at different points of time. And the recent visit of our Honorable President to Ghana in June 2016 helped in further enhancing the bilateral relationship. This year's festival has many elements. It would be having inaugural classical dance performance, and then it would be followed by a food festival, which we are doing in association with Hotel Kempinski. Then we will have a Indian Film Festival at India House, and then it will be culminating with again a classical dance performance, Saptarang, which will showcase 7 traditional dance forms of India.
Festival of India in Ghana has been entitled Maitri, meaning friendship, and is being held to commemorate 60 years of strong bond between India and Ghana.
You're watching Joy News Prime. Up next, we bring you business news. One person is being treated for gunshot wounds after he was hit by a stray bullet fired as musketry at the funeral of the late Queen Mother of Ashanti underway in Kumasi. The incident has got medical personnel deployed at the funeral grounds worried about the use of live ammunition. Doctors say the 30-year-old man currently on admission at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital will require a surgery to correct a compound fracture he suffered, which has left him with the skin of the affected leg completely opened. Coordinator of the team, Dr. Alberta Brichum-Nyako, says though the chiefs have been advised against the use of live ammunition, some continue to flout the directive. There's more in this Ohiming-Teria report.
These are being fired from all angles at the Menshia Palace as a retinue of chiefs as they pay their last respect to the late Asante Hema. The medical team operating 4 clinics at the Menshia Palace saw 420 cases on Monday alone. They have been called in to provide curative services to mourners who suffered from alcohol intoxication, diabetic and hypertensive emergencies, and dehydration, among others. Despite the danger associated with the firing of musketry with live ammunition, some chiefs continue to engage in the practice. An unidentified man in his 30s was rushed to the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital after a bullet hit his right leg with muscles torn in incorrect manner. Dr. Brichum-Nyako is the coordinator of the medical team.
I tell you that for a crowd like this, the medical emergencies that we are taking care of, alcoholic intoxication, some sprains, some injuries, gunshot wounds, headache, some diabetic and hypertensive emergencies, because we have the older age group attending this one. Some people also don't eat and they come, so we have what we call hypoglycemia, their sugar goes low. Some people too haven't drank enough water, so they are dehydrated. These are some of the things that we are seeing. It's not surprising, you hear a lot of gunshots here. Even though they have been told they should fire into the air, some people don't obey instructions. So that is how sometimes these things happen. But we had only one yesterday, and the patient is...
Meanwhile, the team has been advising mourners to adopt preventive lifestyles.
What we would say is that if you know you are not well, don't come and stand in the sun just to come and feast on what is happening, or don't come and queue for long. If you are coming, make sure you have eaten, drink enough water. When you get to the grounds, to get water to drink. We have washrooms here, so if people want to urinate, there's a place for them to urinate. So people should eat well, they should stay well hydrated. If they are on any medications, they should take them. They shouldn't forget to take their drugs and come here on empty stomach.
Minister-designate for Parliamentary Affairs, Oseche Menson, who says government efforts to transform the agri-sector will have to rely heavily on foreign technology if it will be successful. It says the One Village, One Dam policy will have to draw heavily on Israel's capacity in turning desert areas into farm fields. Speaking during a courtesy call on the Speaker of Parliament by the Israeli ambassador, Mr. Menson reiterated the new administration's commitment to develop agriculture.
The government of the day is talking about a transformational development agenda. It's talking about one village, one dam, one district, one factory. And really, the base is developing agriculture. far as agricultural development is concerned, Ghana has a lot to learn from Israel, especially given the fact that this one village, one land concept is being spoken about in particular the Sahelian, so Savannah zone. Yet Israel is a country that has conquered the desert. So we think that there's a lot that we could share with Israel in having these promises of materialize.
Speaker of Parliament, Professor Michael Quay, called for more collaboration between Ghana and Israel.
I think that we should be able to devise and revive some of these things. We are very conscious of the policy of not really financial aid packages as packages, but more of technical assistance and cooperation in cultural and other areas. This we trust will be given in the next few years, and particularly speaking for Parliament. Some of the best practices of your Parliament, and we all coming over and assisting as much as possible. Exchanges will be very good. We're very glad to welcome a delegation from a good country to also see what we're trying to do, and also for a number of our people, both parliamentarians or members of Parliament, as well as our technical staff.
We're taking a break now. We'll bring you international news next. All right, time to look at a quick time to take a quick look at our top stories here on Joy News Prime. The victim of a stray bullet incident at the funeral of the Shanti Queen mother currently undergoing treatment, with doctors saying he may require surgery. 6 more persons, including an MPP vice chair at Bechem, arrested over forceful seizures of state assets in continuing incidents of post-election violence. Meeting called by Lower Manya NDC executives degenerates into free-for-all fight over allegations of misappropriation of monies meant for the party's polling agents. In business, Agri-Information and Communication Services Company, Esoko Ghana, criticizes President Akufo-Addo's policy of modernizing the agricultural sector to create jobs and enhance food security. And a group calling itself Dangbe Conserju vowed to resist appointment of non-indigents as municipal and district chief executives in Greater Accra region towns. On to the rest of our stories. And he might be short physically, but that does not deter him from having long-term dreams and hoping for a better future for himself. That is the story of 30-year-old Robert Menson, who's bent on making it in life despite his unusually small frame. He is one of the little people in Ghana, striving against the odds, especially in a society where everyone sees them as the odd ones out. Joy News' Mahmoud Mohamed Nuruddin traveled to the Braveful region to speak with Robert Menson on what sets him apart.
This is Robert Menson's daily routine. Robert believes he was born different but capable. The big things in life do not deter him. Every day, he joins the millions of Ghanaians helping to build Mother Ghana. He plays his role as a tour guide here at the Kintampo waterfalls in the Braveful region. Robert Menson intends to save the little money he gets for the family.
I didn't do my money, or I didn't see my friend, but I just think in my mind that if my money, my mom or my dad just have the money, I not been like this. Sometimes I just be happy to everything now. But I just try to work whatever it is to get the money to help to myself.
He dropped out of school at a junior high school due to unavailable financial support.
It was if I just have someone just help me, I just continue my everything now. But when I need someone to help me. Yeah. I just some people also.
Robert Menson does not see challenges in getting a life partner. He intends to marry soon as he has already found a woman after his heart.
Almost I can save the money. Because of my junior sisters and junior brothers also go to school. I just take that money to give it to them. I just continue with school. That's why I just only stay small. If my sisters and brothers just compete in school now, I just marry now.
Robert Menson there. In other news, from bloody attacks on school feeding caterers to the violent takeovers of toll booths, supporters of the governing MPP are wreaking havoc across the country. They are bent on attacking and seizing public installations they claim are being manned by supporters of the previous government. The attacks have attracted swift reactions from many respected individuals in society, including the chairman of the National Peace Council, Most Reverend Emmanuel Asante. There is, however, concern about the president's loud silence on the matter. Here's a News Desk report.
It's been a month of attacks, sometimes bloody, across Ghana. The Tema toll booth, the Ratri Park in Kumasi, the passport office in Accra, and recently, a Jurassic Dumasi in the Ashanti region, where school feeding caterers perceived to be supporters of the NDC were wounded and chased out of a school. Some of the teachers suffered various injuries. The result is many of the children would no longer go to school for fear of being attacked again.
And around the nation. Meanwhile,
post-election protests may be normal, but our political actors handle them matters. After the recent U.S. elections, the winner, President-elect Donald Trump, called his supporters to order in the CNN interview.
They're harassing Latinos, Muslims.
I am so saddened to hear that, and I say stop it.
A similar violent situation is playing out in Ghana, but the president, Akufo-Addo, is yet to say the situation has reached a point where highly respected individuals in the society are demanding that the president, Akufo-Addo, calls his supporters to order.
He's in an extraordinary situation.
Emmanuel Akwete of IDEG.
He's the president, okay, and therefore he carries a certain authority now, inspirationally, morally, and so on, apart from being the president with enormous powers. And I think a clear language that says this is not tolerable.
Chairman of the Peace Council, Most Reverend Emmanuel Asante, is worried about the state of affairs.
One would expect that we will see political leadership in this matter. That a strong statement. I want to believe that a strong statement coming from the president or from the presidency would do a lot of good.
And the call to action being demanded from the president may just be in order because he was swift in condemning similar reported attacks on his supporters prior to the election.
The rapid apprehension and prosecution of members of the ruling party who have been responsible for the recent violence against members of the MPP in Esutifi South, a constituency represented in Parliament by a cabinet minister, will be one such measure.
Even chiding then President Mahama and the security agencies for not acting.
And there are increasingly loud calls for peace. It's because the government has not tried to build any confidence measures to assure the citizens that the security agencies have a free hand to do their work in an impartial manner. Many people do not feel that the security agencies are currently party colorblind.
Now the tables have turned. Nana Akufo-Addo is in power.
That I will preserve,
protect, and defend the Constitution,
of the Republic of Ghana.
So help me God.
After his inauguration, the president has delivered a series of speeches at various public events across the country. But in all these, there has been no word on the violent attacks by his supporters. Nay, rather, it's been talk about patriotism.
What we have to do is to make sure that the beliefs that we have impact on us in our everyday life.
And agriculture.
Agriculture continues to be the anchor of the country's economy, employing almost half of our workforce. However, in the last few years...
And now, the opposition NDC is warning of retaliation, which could disrupt the peace being enjoyed by Ghanaians.
We are calling on civil society, religious bodies, the media, and the international community not to blame the NDC if the unacceptable conduct of Akufo-Addo's invisible forces leads to reprisal attacks.
Nana Akufo-Addo must not only act, he must be seen to be acting. Fifi Kumsen, Joy News, Accra.
Taking a break will bring you entertainment next.